Up in the rostrum, all right, so here's the rostrum. You can see that there is the nostrils, pair of nostrils, but everybody see these little tiny pits on there? It's because that thing popped out. These little tiny pits right here are called the ampullae of Lorenzini. These are used for electrical detection. Ampullae of Lorenzini. Stingrays, you can actually see the spiracle behind the eye on this guy. So when you guys pick up this chart, take a look at the spiracles on there. All right. This is the Pilata quadrate right here.
And we can tell the difference by this, right?
On this guy, yeah. Now, Osteichthyes used to be a class. Now it's just a generic term. But the first group of which, right, they include what's referred to that are in the subclass Chondrostii. And in this group, that includes things like the sturgeon. So we have a model sturgeon right here. Some of you guys probably have had sturgeon before. This is a relic fish, all right? And you can see the primitive fin placement on this guy. All right, these guys got some armor plating on there. And, all right, and all right, but these guys have some cartilage on there. So here's a sturgeon. All right. Other members that you guys are going to take a look at is the bowfin. Kind of falls into this category. Okay. We're going to look at the gar. All right. And then don't worry for you guys. Don't worry about the orders. So yeah, don't worry about orders for the fishes. Subclass Neopterygii. These are the new fins. So now you have different fin placement. So again, don't worry about the different orders of which. So in this subclass, this is where we see that big diversification. We got fish that have this huge bony covering called amia. This is the bowfin. You guys are actually going to learn the bones on this guy. As we do this, we're going to talk about the different structures. So we'll talk about several different types of bones in a couple of weeks. Now, this is another member that's in this particular subclass. This is the needle-nosed gar. All right. So, and now what we're looking at is different types of scales on here. This is what's called a ganoid scale. All right, so they kind of look like little triangular pieces on there, little diamond shapes almost. All right, overlapping. The fin placement is still kind of somewhat low. The anal fins here, but the pelvic fins have moved anteriorly a little bit. They're halfway in between. All right. But needle-nosed gars, these guys are actually pretty cool. And then you can actually see the skull on this guy. All right. So here's the skull of a needle-nosed gar.
Freshwater?
Freshwater. Yeah. But teleos, these are the more advanced bony fish. And as we look at these guys, we see the fin placement start to change on these guys. The pectoral fins move up onto the side. The pelvic fins move anteriorly. Right. I mean, yeah, they come in. Yeah, the pectoral fins kind of come up. Mm-hmm. All right. And then we have unique features like, a seahorse. That's a bony fish. One of the things that you're going to see on the toad are a bunch of glands.
So that's the product line.
Yeah. So this is a class Amphibia. We're in the order Anura. So these animals do not have tails, other than during the tadpole stage. Well, there is an exception. There is the tailed frog that actually does have a tail as an adult. All right. That's the little spade that this guy has. This is a spade-foot toad. This guy will actually bear itself when it gets too dry. If you look at its hind legs, right, what are you going to see? You're going to see that it's often it's webbed. Right. So these guys have a slicker skin, and a lot of the frogs can also secrete poisons.
What's the difference between a salamander and a newt?
Newt has a stage where it can actually become quite terrestrial, and it's going to have this drier, rougher skin. Right, those guys. This is in the order Gymnophiona.
Order Gymno?
Yeah. Oh, what do we have? Order Apoda, and this guy is found in southern hemisphere. And one of the big things with this is these guys are burrowers, very moist leaf litter, things like that. And if you look closely at the eyes, if you look closely at the head, you can actually see tiny little eyes right there. That's a vestigial eye right there.
Is that the head?
Yep, that's the head. Oh no, here's the eye. This one. Oops. Sorry, gotta look closer. That's the eye right there. It's kind of. And then if you look, it'll smile at you too. Here you can actually see this. See the mouth.
Oh, okay.
This is Sicilian. All right. They're from another smaller island near Sicily. Here you can see the mouth a little bit better. See the mouth right here? All right, and you can see the little nostrils right here. All right. So those are those guys. Now with reptiles, it used to be class Reptilia, but that is no. At a turtle, turtle's going to have some webbing on their feet. They're going to have claws on their feet. Everything's into a big old paddle. That's what I thought. Yeah. Bottom portion of the shell is called a plastron, and the portion of the shell right here is called the carapace. Alligators are in crocodilia. Yes. Alligators, crocodiles, and the gavials. Order Squamata. We're going to take a look at those. These are the squamates. Yep, those guys can. Yep.
Why do they squirt blood?
Depends. You guys see the nostril right there? See the eye right here? There's a pit organ right here. All right. All right. That's what it uses for heat detection. With birds, they are in their own class. They are in the class Aves. These are Prototherian mammals. All right, so in the class Mammalia, subclass Prototheria. Theria refers to beasts, so these are the prototypical beasts. All right. All right. So the echidna, where do you typically find these guys? Australia, New Zealand. And then some of the surrounding islands down over there. There's two species of echidnas. The other species that you guys are familiar with is the duck-billed platypus. All right. So